chosen few. This is Tony Hatchett.
You're tuned in to another episode of Chicago's podcast. It's Vintage House. You're listening to the sounds of DJ Tony Hatchett, our guest for tonight's Vintage House show. Here we go. Thanks for joining us on Chicago's podcast, The Vintage House Show. It's your main man, Mega, with another exciting, engaging, compelling, and insightful episode, along with Lauren Lowry, Vintage House Show founder, Dance Music Research and Archive Foundation archivist. What's up, Lauren? How are you tonight?
Hey, what's happening? What's happening? I don't think they can see us. Can they see us?
They cannot. Stay tuned. We're gonna bring you.
Can't see us. So.
Yeah, we're bringing you Lauren Lowry, and then we'll introduce our special guest.
First of all, we're all stunning too, so they're desperate to see us. I mean, we all look fantastic.
Exactly.
But we have one of the greatest DJs in the history of Chicago, Illinois. Okay, now global, Mr. Tony Hatchett.
All right.
We need the sound effects for laughing. That would be so cool. So Tony, where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from my home in Houston, Texas at this particular time.
That is wonderful. What's the weather like there?
Don't get mad, but it was 82 today.
Yeah, that's just sad.
I am mad, but at the same time, I'm glad because you have gifted us with your timing of being here on the Vintage House Show, and we appreciate you allocating that time, sir.
No problem. Glad to be a part of the show.
And this appearance comes on the heels of a couple of months away from celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Chosen Few Picnic and Festival. But how many years has it been for Tony Hatchett as a DJ?
Wow, you would ask me that.
Putting him on the spot.
Well, out there where people can actually hear me, it's been over about 45 years. Okay.
This man is legendary.
At home, doing little odds and ends stuff, probably since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
That's quite a legacy, sir.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, music was always in our family. It was just something part of growing up. Between the stuff that my mom and dad used to listen to, we kind of had no choice but to get into this stuff. But no one ever thought we would take it as far as we actually think.
And so tell us about mom and dad and their involvement in music and how they inspired you.
Growing up, of course, Saturday mornings, while we were doing our chores around the house, there was always music being played. And from things that we knew about that was in our, generation of music at the time being kids, to the music that the adults would listen to. And it's strange enough, some of the things that they would listen to, we're actually still playing today.
Well,
Exactly.
and
That's scary.
but it's scary, but it also speaks to what some would challenge is, the quality of that music, timeless.
Exactly. I mean, unbelievable stuff. I'll never forget the first time I heard, actually out at a party, heard a record that my mom and dad used to play that a lot of people never even knew what it was about. But all of a sudden, it's worldwide being played now. We used to have albums, of course, I'm taking myself back now when we talk about albums.
Hey,
That could be very current too, though. These
Yeah, for now we want to, but it's nothing like that. That was just what we grew up on. But there was an album that the one that stands out, Booker T and the MGs.
yeah,
That album was played in my house. An entire album was played in my house. Of course, there were two songs that one of them to this day you will find every DJ that can play old school music. You'll find all of them. This record is in their collection.
okay,
Melting Pot. It was
Yeah.
just a song that we thought was just something our family would listen to. I'll never forget the first time I actually heard it. I heard a DJ actually playing it, and I'm thinking to myself, "That's somebody that knows some good music."
how about that?
Yeah.
And so,
Uh,
to that point, in the background, hopefully everyone is vibing to uh, a mix that's our music bed for tonight's show. It is a sneak peek exclusive here on the Vintage House Show of Tony's 30th anniversary mix for the Chosen Few Festival. Tell us a little bit about what we're listening to and what your inspiration has been for this mix. Can you hear it?
Absolutely.
It was the right thing, but we're trying to make it as least amount of sadness as we possibly can with what we're trying to do with our virtual show. Okay, a lot of people think
Good. You guys do the right thing. You've built up such an amazing fan base that people are going to follow you.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it, virtually, you're going to have people tuned in all day long.
growing to a point where people are starting to, hey, Houston scene is great. Bottom line, though, you still, they still have that mentality, whereas they want the groups, they want the DJs, but they want them at a, bargain rate.
basement.
Yeah, we got to get them out of that mindset. You can't ask for top-notch DJs, but you want to pay them Walmart prices.
Hey,
It's
Yeah.
not going to work.
thanks.
Only in Chicago does that work, right?
Right.
Now the
It
Now
don't really
the-
work well there. Okay.
now the
No, it
party
doesn't.
started, y'all. The whole Vintage House crew is here. I'm back. Oh,
That means
talking
we're
about
back.
technical difficulties. I've swapped out laptop devices, retooled the internet,
You made it work.
Wi-Fi. Thanks, Lori. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, Tony, for
You got
keeping the
it.
conversation going.
Oh yeah. Well, we have tons to talk about, I'm sure.
That we do.
I know
So,
Kevin's going to do the interview. I'm part of the Peanut crew here today, but I will say that my very first party at the Loft, which was when I discovered that young people was like doing what I was experiencing at the warehouse.
Yes.
I was like, these are people my age. I can deal with this. It was a Tony Hatchett DJ session when I walked in that door. My very first party.
Well, thank you.
It
Thank
sure
you.
was.
And look what I started. Look where you are today.
That's right. I got bit.
We can't
bit
keep
by
you
the bug.
down. You
I
have
know.
taken it. I have to say, you have taken it and went sky's the limit with it.
yes,
Definitely.
Y'all started.
we appreciate.
Hey, we had to get it from somewhere. Somebody started with us too, and
Yeah.
we just passed it along. That's all.
Got it.
And we got to spend a little bit of time talking about that start, that origin that Tony had with his parents playing the music around the house that all of the household listened to, enjoyed, and found themselves listening to decades later, right? And
Yeah.
spinning decades later.
Unbelievable.
And that,
Unbelievable.
but what we didn't get into, Tony, was the mixing piece. So you obviously had a love and appreciation for music,
Yeah.
but talk about how you learned to mix and spin and put the equipment together, and how did
So-
that all come together?
Funny story. Okay. Of course, we all pretty much grew up. Anybody that thought they could produce music with a cassette deck and a pause button was masters at it. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
You couldn't tell us what we weren't doing. No
Couldn't
producing.
tell y'all nothing.
You,
right?
well, you were doing producing. That's how production is,
That's
right?
what it was.
That's where you
That's
use
exactly
the tools
what it
that you
was.
have to work with, right?
Called work.
I'm talking. We mastered what we could. So
Right.
that was just kind of the kicker start of it. Didn't realize that people were, no way did I think I was the only one doing this stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm pretty sure there were other people doing that. Growing up, I happened to be, every neighborhood that we were that I grew up in, every neighborhood, every area, going through high school and everything, you had the dance clubs. Dance clubs were
Right.
very big. Okay. My neighborhood wasn't no different. Okay. We had our little sections of dance groups all around. And I was in one of the dance groups called the Most Wanted. Okay. thought I was a dancer. And groups like the secretaries, the doctors, men in high rank, the coteries, all these different groups all around would give the parties. We would all go and support their parties.
Yes.
One thing that stood out to me like a sore thumb, there was the same group of people DJing these parties.
Okay. Who were they?
Our founder, Wayne Williams, and Jesse Saunders.
Okay.
No, every party I went to, these two were DJs.
They had a lock on the market, huh?
They knew. Wayne knew everybody, first of all, and he knew the music that
Yeah.
they were dancing to and they wanted to listen to. So a group by the name of the Detectives.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Paul, who was his? I think Paul King was one of them. It was several of the guys that you all, I'm pretty sure, know. They gave a party at one of the Catholic schools in my neighborhood, St. Alpha.
That's my place. Yeah.
And I went to this party. and I'm watching this DJ string these songs along without any breaks, and I'm trying, how the hell is he doing this? I'm up there and I'm watching. They noticed me watching. I just forgot all about dancing at the time because our group was supposed to have been dancing. I'm sitting there and I'm watching this, slide this mixer over and these two turntables and all that. I'm like, man, that's what equipment is. Okay. That eliminates the pause button. Okay. So I'm watching this, and after all of that, I went up and I just started talking to these guys.
Right.
And as I'm talking to them, I see, hey man, and I even brought it to their attention. You guys, where are you getting these records, first of all? You know, these records are not played on the radio. Where are you getting these records from and everything? And that was Wayne. Well, you have to be out. You have to know where to go, record stores, and it came from somewhere. So as I'm picking his brain, I see them at the next party. And they just kept seeing me. Okay? Right. I was kind of like a leech. They wasn't getting rid of me because I was fascinated by what was going on with this. Okay.
What years was this? What years were you trolling?
This was
What years were you trolling?
Believe it or not, 1980. This started in high school. Graduated from high school in 80. This was like 77.
What high school? You gotta shout out your high school, Chicago thing.
Went to Simeon for 2 years, then went to Bowen.
Simeon and Bowen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And as we are
Pirates and the Wolverines.
Simeon Wolverines, that's right. Yep. As I was doing all this and kept following them and kept seeing them all around and everything, one thing led to another, where I got an opportunity just like they did. They got an opportunity. I didn't realize, I mean, back in that particular time, you think that he was just born with this gift. Oh, Wayne, just none of them. They weren't born with this. They had to inherit it. They practiced. They would go through. Absolutely. They had to do their work. That's one thing that I found, that I learned quickly about Wayne for sure. He's out there. And if you don't get out there, you're going to miss out on the bus. You had to be out there. So he would drag me and just, we were reluctant to go because at the time, we had other interests. We wanted to do other things. But he would drag us along. And at the end, we would always say, okay, man, we're glad you did this. Okay. It worked out because if we didn't go, we wouldn't have gotten these songs and gotten to hear these records and gotten to hear these DJs and stuff like that. So as we're doing all of this, I can't remember the first party that he actually let me get on the tables to do. But as I got on, I didn't have the actual 1200s at the time. I think we had some D12s.
Yeah, some Geminis or Technics, whatever we were using back then.
We found out that the most important part of it was you had to have pitch control.
Yeah. You found out the hard way or the easy way.
Exactly. So once we did that and we figured all that out, okay, now I know how to slow this, slow that. Jesse actually got me into, Wayne was the one that actually had me in awe of what was going on. Jesse actually had me into having to learn how to read the music, how to learn how to listen to the music.
Read the grooves, right? Looking at the grooves on the record.
How to get to a verse, how to know how many beats in a verse, how to recognize a beat.
4 counts and 8 counts.
Right.
Yep, exactly. So once I figured all of that, okay, now it just enhanced what I was doing. I had to learn a whole nother way. Remember, there's no pause buttons on this stuff. So I had to learn a whole nother way. And then that kind of enhanced, okay, well, it's not as hard if you have the right equipment.
And the right skills. Not everybody could do it.
You had the right skills. You had to, but you're going to get that by looking to see what people are doing, asking questions and stuff like that. I had no
Tony,
problem.
I have to ask you this though, because it was not easy to learn back then. I mean, not everybody could do it. This is why you didn't have that many DJs.
Yeah.
You couldn't just buy equipment and be a DJ.
And be right, not like it is today.
This is a great point because
Yeah.
You know, we talk about and have skimmed over a lot in the Vintage House discussions about the evolution of being an analog DJ and moving to being a digital DJ. That's a transition. It's a major.
It is huge.
And
it is huge.
And
Well,
a lot of people
Is
talk
a transition easier going that way than it would be coming back the other way?
That
Because
is.
Exactly.
I have a couple of friends that are trying to get into it now. And
Going
I try
back?
to tell them,
Yeah.
Going which way?
going to wax.
and forward. I suggest to them, go back.
Yeah.
Okay, learn on this stuff, then the new stuff becomes a whole lot easier.
Absolutely.
Okay? I don't knock the DJs that are taking advantage of today's technology. I would never do that. But to start where I was, one thing that comes to mind when it comes to the beginning, the start, okay? I remember the first day Farley was getting into DJing, okay? Farley used to ask every last one of us, give me 10 minutes on the table, give me all this, before he became the funkin' master, the jack master and all that, okay? Farley used to ask to carry records for us, okay? And one thing that stood out when it came to Farley, I knew he was going to be a success. We would go out after DJing 3 and 4 high school parties, coming in 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, putting equipment away and everything. Farley would actually lock himself in Jesse's basement and practice 6, 7, 8 in the morning before he would come up. And you have to admire that dedication.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no doubt knowing that he's going to be something. He's going to be good. He's good. And that's what he did. He kept practicing and kept practicing. You have to invest in yourself when it comes to this. And a lot of DJs nowadays, they think they want things handed to them. I hear a lot of discussions on Facebook, you name it, and Instagram, whereas DJs think that they've been singled out or not given the opportunity to showcase talent, showcase stuff like that. That's something we didn't ever have to worry about back then. We didn't look for somebody to hand us stuff, to give us stuff. We created this stuff on our own. Okay, and this is what I don't understand about today's, up and coming DJs and some already established DJs. Some of them are wondering, why won't somebody else give me this break or give me that, stuff like that. We didn't ask for anybody to give us anything.
Yeah.
All of these things that we did, we created. 90% of it we did ourselves. Now,
So why do you think that is, though, Tony? I mean, why?
well, back then,
What was different about back then than now?
remember when I said that I would go to all of these parties? There were 2 people that I saw doing this
Right.
at all the
Exactly.
parties. Whereas now, the parties are a whole lot more. I'm talking 100 times more parties than there were back then. And probably 2,000 times more DJs jockeying for these parties. Okay? It gets so competitive right now because there's so many people that was doing it.
What do you?
I remember 2 other DJs on the South Side that were doing things. Byron, later on I met Mike Izubuko. But there's a lot of them that weren't doing what we were doing. Now, when it came to mixing, as far as the parties, there was one person on the South Side of Chicago that had the parties locked up, no doubt. Kirk Thompson. Okay? Kirk would hire us because he had so many parties. He would hire us, go set up equipment at a party, drop us off there, and he's off going to do 3, 4 other things, all in the same night.
Did you ever do the Mendo bi-level discos?
Oh,
Yeah.
Many a time.
Many
a time. Those are Aquinas, Unity, Long, all of these schools that were locked up through myself, through Kirk, through Wayne, through Jesse, and all. Kirk would set up the equipment. Bam. It's been many a days I had to wait on Kirk because he was picking up other equipment. My party was over last, so I got to wait. Okay? But many a days. That's how it was back in the day. And you didn't complain. We never said anything about it. We knew we would rather have that scenario being busy than to not have anything.
Certainly. And Kirk's a friend of Vintage House. He's hosted the show many times, and I'm sure he's probably tuned in tonight. But I want to go back to a point you were making with regard to opportunities, right?
Yes.
In today's era of pandemic, quarantine, we see the emergence of those who probably were seeking those opportunities seizing the opportunity by going online with these sets, 4-hour, 5-hour sets, and
Taking
trying
advantage.
to amass audience. And there's certainly a number of opportunities to help elevate those particular DJs. I'm curious about what you think about for yourself, right, in terms of leveraging social media. I mean, obviously, you've built a career and have an audience and following, but I don't see you a lot on social media.
I'm still raising a kid. Okay.
Respect.
I set my priorities. Let's just say that, Cap.
Yeah.
A lot of times before I have the job that I'm doing now, the job that I used to have would take me away from home from 3 to 6 months at a time.
Okay.
So in doing that, it was very hard to try to maintain your DJing skills. But I didn't stop. I never stopped listening to the music or absorbing the music.
Yeah.
I remember one time I actually still under contract with FEMA. So I'm on the disaster response team.
Okay.
I was actually in St. Croix for the hurricanes they had there a couple of years ago.
Wow.
I'm actually calling Terry Hunter because I got an idea for a song that I want to do while on the road. Okay,
Nice.
That part never leaves.
Gotcha.
Never. As far as the social media portion of it, actually, I did a live set about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I think it was, and I was going to do another one last week, but at the time, Andre and Keith wanted to do one.
Yeah.
So rather than clash with everybody, and that's one thing too. I mean, anybody could come on and just go and do whatever, but my main purpose for doing it was because maybe somebody wasn't doing anything at the time and there's people wanting to listen to music. So, okay, I will come on. But if there's someone that's already going on and doing it, back in my time, I would like to listen to what somebody else is doing, see what somebody else is doing. Well, if nobody else is doing anything, then yeah, I will take the advantage of coming on and doing anything. Now, like you said, you have everybody trying to take advantage of it. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. Okay? The people that are at home listening, they just want to hear some music.
That's right. That's right.
They just want to feel that energy again,
Absolutely.
The bottom line, as long as someone is doing it, I'm a fan of many a DJ.
Yeah.
Okay, some of them know, some of them I haven't had the opportunity to tell that to, but I'm a fan of many DJs. I love going into places and hearing music, hearing DJs play things. I have no problem going up and asking, hey, I don't have that. Who is that? Okay. That's the only way you get it. That's how you get it,
What about those dancing skills you talked about earlier? You still get it in?
It was short-lived.
I'm happy to.
Who knew the Hatchets were dancers? Was Andre a dancer too?
No. He was a dancer, but he didn't do it in a group.
He didn't do the group
I
dancing.
decided to get in a group.
Okay.
Did you guys have like costumes? Because I remember some of the groups had costumes.
Oh, the Big Apple hats?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Very cool.
Go back.
What
I had the blue apple hat. I can't remember the pants, but we had the blue shirt too.
Oh,
the
wow.
powder blue shirt, and we out there doing our moves.
What
Just
were
like everybody else was.
you named a few of those vintage venues, if I may call them that as well. Can I go down and put you a bit on the spot and ask you about what some of your favorite venues were from both perspectives, right? Dancing as well as spinning.
Well, the dancing was short-lived, like I say. It was maybe 2 parties that.
Oh, okay, really
Okay.
short.
That was very short, yeah. Okay. As far as the venues DJing,
Yeah.
Man, back in those times, of course, the Loft. Okay, those were always great spots. But before that, I enjoy my first experience going to the warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay, I enjoy going and listening to this heart-pumping music. Okay, sometimes the song was great. Sometimes I didn't like the song. But no matter what, that sound system just went through your whole body. Okay? I remember hearing certain DJs. I would go to the North Side. A lot of South Side DJs. We didn't venture too much on the North Side. But then as we got older, North Side, they wanted to hire South Side DJs. So Germanian Club was one of the big clubs we used to DJ at.
Where was that?
The Germanian Club?
Yeah. Do you remember?
Around the time?
Neighborhood-ish.
Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Germanian Club is off of Clark, Diversity Clark, where it kind of splits.
Yeah. Okay.
Over in that area.
Yeah.
Right there. It was a theater. All right. And I think what they did was just rent out a room.
Yep. I think I remember that.
Actually go up some stairs. And I think one of the rooms that they rented out was what they had for a party. It was a huge building. I mean, a huge building. But that's how they partied on the North Side. They always had a lot of people that come to the North Side.
I don't remember a lot of the younger DJs on the North Side. We certainly hung out in a lot of the clubs.
Right.
I can name a dozen clubs that we were there because we were following like Frankie Knuckles and
exactly.
Some of those other DJs who like Craig Cannon, sort of that era.
Yeah.
But like our crew, I just don't remember. I remember it being a sort of uniquely South Loop and South Side kind of thing, like the younger DJs.
The Tree of Life.
Yes.
The Blue Gargoyle.
Yep. Absolutely.
Before, let's see, High Pod Racquetball Club, that came a little later, but before that,
Punk out.
First Impressions, of course, the Law, Playground, all of that came a little later.
Indeed.
But we, like Lori said, we were all over. I mean, from 10th in Michigan all the way to the 103rd and Jeffrey, we were partying. We went to wherever the nice parties, wherever the clubs were.
Can you talk, though, a little bit about the backyard parties, because that was a phenomenon as well. I remember you probably in a Jeffrey Manor or Peel Hill party.
Yep. We used to do a few of those. The Peel Hill parties were awesome. Those were great. We used to do a bunch of those. As we got older and we actually were able to talk our parents into letting us have a party.
Right.
Little did they know what they were in for.
Well, there's I threw one of those and got into a lot of trouble. I said, it's just going to be a few people, like, 15 people or so. And my parents left. They went out. They're like, all right, we'll go have dinner and we'll come back around 9:30. There was 150 people.
Wait, Lori, you told them 15?
I didn't think it was. I felt like the dude on the West Side. I was like, look, I wasn't planning for all that to happen.
What happened
was cars all down the street, garbage everywhere. I was in so much trouble.
Somebody heard, hey, let's just party over here. Let's just check that out. Before you know it, they done told 20 people. Them 20 people that told 20 people.
That's right.
And now you got a party.
And where I'm going with this is because also you move that phenomenon to
where? You're freezing. I can't see you. Is the person
okay, there you
behind the museum. Right? You know where I'm going with this. The behind the museum event.
Well, the picnic.
30 years ago.
So let me tell you how this went. I don't know how many people know this story. The picnic, my family always would meet on the side of the museum every 4th of July.
Okay.
This particular year, 30 years ago, we're trying to figure out, man, what we going to do for the 4th? This is how it all came about.
1990.
What we going to do for the 4th? And I don't know. Well, we can just go grab some stuff and maybe head to the picnic. Head to the museum, hang out. The weather was great. Okay. All of that came about in about an hour. After we decided what we were going to do, then, well, man, it might be nice. Maybe we should bring the system. Well, who we going to get? A couple of phone calls. Hey, what you doing the 4th? This is on the same day now. What you doing? And I ain't got nothing though. What's up? And we think about going on the side of the museum. You want to try to get a system, stuff like that?
No permit, I'm sure.
Oh, come on, Lori. You know better. You know better than that.
Come on.
No.
Park District may be tuned in now.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and I'll meet you on the side here. We got to have some gas though. All right, so got to have some gas money, getting generated. Literally in 2.5, 3 hours after talking about it,
Yes.
it was 50 people with us.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
50
right?
people.
Who brought
Okay.
the system?
I'm sorry.
Who brought the system?
Was it Greg Gray?
Yeah.
Who is Greg Gray, who is he opens for us every year
Yep.
because he was part of how this stuff started.
Another friend of Vintage House Show. Yeah.
Yeah, he brought the system. We all pitched in for the generator, gas, and back in those days, the only time the music stopped is because we ran out of gas. Well, we didn't run out. The generator ran out. Now we got to fill it back up. But those people stayed there. They waited. So we got, like I say, about 50 people, and we just enjoying, having fun. We playing baseball, Piggy.
Did you say Piggy?
Piggy.
Piggy
Okay.
1, Piggy 2, and Piggy 3?
Everybody just having fun. The next year, after we left that particular year, the next year, with the time that we left it, we never thought about that ever again. It may have gotten talked about a couple of days afterwards because you saw a few people.
Yeah.
The next year, we started getting these phone calls. Hey, y'all gonna have that picnic again?
Yeah.
What you talking about? We had totally forgot all about it. We hadn't planned anything. We wasn't doing anything.
Right.
Hey, I guess we having a picnic, y'all. And we went to the side of the museum again. This time it was about 150 people that came throughout the day. We got put on notice because the first one, like say 50, you can stay under the radar with 50.
Right.
Right.
150, now you
Yeah,
got the
it's a little
museum security coming out. You got the university people coming out.
Paid them off with a few ribs, though, right?
You know what? The main thing they saw, Kev, man, they're not trying to hurt nobody. They just did have fun.
Yeah.
We did have probably 6 Chicago policemen that grew up with us, Billy Hill Breen, Paul Gregoire, you know.
Yeah.
We had some clout, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
We put in there, and the museum people, they complained. Their biggest issue was their employees having a place to park.
In that
As
employee
long as
parking
their
lot.
employees had a place to park, the music wasn't bothering them.
Right.
You know, the crowds bothered them because those people were trying to find places to park. And other than that, once we kind of got that over that little hurdle, we never had any issue. They never kicked us out, you know. 150 people, and we're sitting there like, hey man, this is crazy. From
Now
that
you
point,
guys called it the old school picnic at that point. It was when you first started. I remember those first couple flyers. I did come to 91, 92 with one of the first few because I was not living in Chicago when you started. But I remember my friend Aisha called me and she's like, well, you know, they're doing this like old school party.
The reunion picnic.
Or something like that. That's what it was, a reunion.
The old school
But
reunion picnic.
Yeah, but it was like, it's like a reunion. Didn't we just see each other a few years ago, like any kind of soon, like a reunion, like, you know, what were we talking? I just saw those guys. What are you talking
every year, it was more people that heard about it the first year that didn't hear about it afterwards. So every year, and even to this day, it's still people that have never attended. We get someone new every year.
Of course.
This thing. So I was a math minor in college, and they call this one of those logarithmic curves, this exponential curve. This thing has grown so incredibly well in a way that, you know, everyone always marvels at the fact that it is a unifying, peaceful event centered right on this music that we all know and love, and you know, there's a little bit of personality involved too with you guys,
when it comes with the territory, you know,
and the artists, and
that comes with the territory. But yeah, I mean, we never. Everybody always asks, well, you know, how did y'all do? What did y'all do this? You got to remember, back in that days, there was no social media.
Right.
Okay. 80% of the people that we received from all this was all word of mouth.
Yeah.
Our friend telling another friend. Kind of like Lori's party, okay? 15 people ended up for 100, okay? That's how it's telling people word of mouth. And then when you have an event like that you got good people, good friends, no mischief. Okay, you got to realize that goes a long way in the city of Chicago. Okay, people won't go out because they're afraid to get caught up in something. Okay, and we can honestly say, 29 years, we have been drama free. We try to maintain enough security where if something did happen, we always prepare. If something did happen, it's minimal, squash, come back. I mean, don't even let this affect your next time trying to come back.
Yeah.
And so far, we've been able to handle that.
And I just want to remind everyone tuned in tonight that we're also privileged to have an exclusive sneak peek or a sneak listen to DJ Tony Hatchett's 30-year tribute mix of the 30 years of the Chosen Few, but it's stringing along music from all 3 decades. So take a listen. I'm sure it's coming to all of you soon, maybe sooner than July, but
it's going to be put up on the podcast. Yes, it will be available for those to download.
And so again, for listening to the Vintage House Show, these are the kinds of benefits you get, right? You get to hear it here
Tell
first.
Your friends to listen.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Download the podcast. But we're not finished with Tony yet, because we want to know, Tony, if you're going to, we understand all of the circumstances going on now, but are you going to join your Chosen Few brothers here in Chicago for the virtual event, or are you going to be in Texas for it?
No. So what our goal is, and we're, like I say, it's kind of in the final stages. I mean, in the working stages. We think we can pull this off, though. But we want everyone to be in a same central location.
Okay.
So we're going to pick a spot, a best available spot for us to do this.
Excellent.
In Chicago. We all will be together.
Great.
And all we ask is that you, the viewing audience, you put yourself in a situation where your surroundings, we want you outside on your deck, in your backyard. We want you to feel what we would have brought you if you were in our backyard.
Yes.
On Chosen Few DJ Way, okay, at the Jackson Park, but at your home. So we're going to bring you this music. We're working on even artist performing as well.
Excellent.
Okay. Again, we want it to be as close to the picnic as possible without being able to have to touch the people and give the hugs and stuff like that. We know that's a big part of what we being out there.
It's the reunion piece as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But we gotta stay safe during these times and make sure that we have those back for 35 years anniversary, our 40 years. Hopefully we all can be together then. We gotta look ahead when it comes.
Can you share, and I appreciate that, as we all have to be concerned and be altruistic about.
Is it just me or is it Captain
He's
freezing?
freezing. There you go. I'll say
about
that
this
again, Cam.
experience. We all
froze
have
up
to
a little
be
bit.
a little altruistic, a lot of altruistic, right? And caring about others as we journey through this pandemic. But this show gives us an opportunity to reflect on, some nostalgia. So can you also talk about what it's like backstage at the Chosen Few Festival? It's usually chaotic back there, but share a little bit about your experiences.
It used to be chaotic. No matter how much security we have on the stage, and Lori can attend to this with her time playing, there were mad people trying to get up to see her because, first of all, they don't get to see her as often, okay? And when she comes out and plays, she has a following as well. So you have people that want to get their way on stage and feel that no matter what, they should be able to come on stage to see their favorite DJ, okay?
Right.
Of artists. But the people that don't realize is we have artists back there that we have to protect the artists as well, okay? And if it gets to a point where the artists feel that they're not secure, guess what? They're not going to perform.
That's
Okay?
right.
So we have to look out for them when it comes to things like that. As far as, for the most part, though, it's kind of a smooth sailing situation, especially early. Now, once everybody's gotten there and had a few drinks under their belt, some food in their tummies, then yeah, that it could get a little chaotic there. In our area, all our families are there. All of our personal belongings are there. So we kind of have to secure those areas when it comes to things like that. As far as getting back there, most people with your friends and family pass, you can actually get to the back area. You just can't get onto the stage. Okay. Coming in back to the area and the back area down below the stage, basically, that's a who's who of the reunion back there.
Yes.
Okay. You got people that they don't really actually want to go on stage. They just want to say hi to your family, hi to you, what's going on,
Absolutely.
stuff like that, know. For the most part, it could be back in the early days where we didn't have to worry about that stuff, when we almost never had a stage, okay? It was no problem. Once we actually had to create that because we had to make sure that we wanted to make sure that the people understood that we're doing what we can to make this a better event for you all. A lot of the things that we've done, we've gone out to other shows, other venues, other festivals to see how they're doing things to try to come back and see what that worked for us.
Lollapalooza, I think you guys did a stint there and
the raising of our VIP stage. Everybody thought that was an awesome idea. We got that from venturing out into other venues.
Yeah,
we are constantly trying to make this a better event. We didn't ask for all of this. People are, again, how I was telling the story, we started doing this again because the people kept asking for it. You have a lot of people that don't like how big it's got. Those that were there in the 50 and 75, 175 people, they don't like how big it's got. Yeah, but you got to look at, that's not something we asked for. Again, we wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, but you know what? You can go to other folks have emulated this. When you were doing that in 1990, you couldn't find like a house music party in a park somewhere that easily. Right. So, but now in the summer, you're going to have one every weekend, so you can have your free event.
Exactly.
That's 50 people happening somewhere.
Yeah.
Here in Chicago and now across the nation, I think you talked about, I don't know if there was something you were describing in Texas that happens, but certainly a lot of spots on the East Coast in Atlanta. You were talking about the Tambor Cruise. I got to believe
events now.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and most of those are not 35, 40,000, 50,000 people. You can go to, there are still 200 to 300 people events that are going on, I understand some people don't like the commercialization of the event. Again, if we didn't take it to that level, some people wouldn't like that either.
Right.
Why don't they do this? We're going to hear it from both sides.
I just wanted to give a shout out to the Chosen Few DJs, particularly last year. Very good to the Vintage House Show. We were in the media tent and got
It's him.
It's him.
Yeah, there's Wi-Fi issues, so I apologize.
Yes.
We had the Vintage House Show broadcasting, not live, but capturing some great content with the people that you inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think it was Arliss Ball and Linda Red. We had many of
been with us from day one.
Yep. And so many of the artists came by and talked to us after. It was a great, one of the best organized media experiences we've had, and we're certainly looking to find ways to plug into the virtual event this year.
We'll definitely work on that. I mean, after 29 years, we got to we should be getting better and better at these things. If you had to go through anything in the past, we hope that was all worked out now. We certainly feel that, we've grown, we've accommodated the media, anybody that necessarily needs it, we felt we've done a better job when it comes to stuff like that. I definitely, we don't want to shun the media when it comes to anything, especially covering the event, okay? We understand that plays a big part. A lot of us would rather spend our time getting the event going, making sure the event is happening, stuff like that, than to talking to the media when it comes to stuff like that. But we want them to be just as happy as everybody else. And when it comes to that, we have to let them know what we're doing and how we're doing it, and making sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah, the team has been definitely great. Leah and Kim
people,
and
yes.
everyone has been excellent in providing that access and that support. And so you obviously want people to participate in the upcoming 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
What are some things that they can do in anticipation of getting ready, besides listening to you share insights tonight, listening to your 30th anniversary tribute mix?
So what we are planning, this is some of the things that we're trying to do for the virtual. Now, we haven't decided if we're not going to make this just a 29 and a half year event.
Okay.
I
I like that. That's clever, right?
And then do a a real 30-year anniversary next year, because technically we're not together. But,
That's true.
we're just going to call this a virtual party, okay?
All right.
With a few tens of thousands of our friends. Let's just say. Okay. But we want for the virtual event, and like I say, we are not asking for any, collecting any money, but we are asking for donations. And within these donations, like I say, we are enlisting some artists that we would like to try to perform as well. Okay. And the money that we do raise is going to go to some relief funds for the corona people that have suffered during these corona times. We're kind of not clear about what charity or who we're actually going to give it to at this time, but that's where most of the funds are going to go.
Excellent.
Okay. Again, we're trying to make it an 8-hour event, at least 8 hours. Okay. All your chosen few DJs. Again, the main thing is we want the people to participate inside your bag. We want you at your barbecue, just virtually there, not at Jackson Park. Okay. If you want to go and take a picture of the chosen few way sign and put it up on your dashboard or put it up somewhere over your picnic area, that's fine too. But we want to bring you the closest experience we can to being in Jackson. That's the goal.
Very good. And what else can we expect from you, Tony Hatchett, in the upcoming future here?
One of my goals, I've been working with Terry a little bit, trying to pick his brain and pull. Terry's one of the busiest producers in the business.
I know he is.
Okay. But I told him before I retire from DJing, I don't know if you ever really retire from DJing,
no.
But before I hang up my headphones, okay, my goal is to produce a record. I want to make a track.
Lauren, we didn't hear you. What was your question?
No, I was just saying that's really interesting that you're thinking about retiring. At least it's in your head somewhere that there could be a retirement at some point. Not anytime soon, I'm assuming, but it's something you're thinking about.
If I still have love for this music, I will keep playing this music. That's why I say I don't think you ever really retire from music.
You can. I think it's like, you retire from a job, right?
Yeah, right.
A job that you got to show up to, that you put in hours in. You don't tire from your artistic expression. It's who you are. So maybe, you stop making money from it. It doesn't mean that
you're going to give it up totally.
Well, it doesn't mean that you divest yourself of it. It's still in you.
Listen to that wisdom from my co-hosts and colleagues, Lori Branch, Lauren Lowry.
You got a good crew, Kevin.
The Bennett
you got a
House
great
crew.
crew.
Well, they adopted me. They gave me
That's right.
a month.
And we got a good crew. We brought Kevin in because he was we need the philosophical Kevin.
Virtual hugs.
I thought we were just getting business. I thought we were just business and we got philosophical. That was interesting. That was a turn.
Tony, you were saying.
Lori, he's been there from day one. Before we got on, he was talking about a tape that I gave him, a mix that I gave him, that he took the Great America of doing our proms. Okay,
That's what's up.
So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because we couldn't end the show without telling that story that Tony and I double dated on. I think it was Seaton's prom.
Prom, that's right.
Right.
You guys double dated?
And we went after the prom the next day to Great America.
Yeah.
All right.
And we took a tape in the car, and I'm like, man, Tony, that tape was hot, brother.
Yes.
And Tony's like, man, Kevin, You cool, brother. Here, just you can have this tape. And from that tape, I got to tell you, Tony, I'm sure I've emulated a few of your mixes because I was one of those guys that trolled you when you were spinning at Sours, at the Loft, at the High Park Racket Club as
That's
well.
right.
So I
It's all
appreciate
part of the business.
That's
It's all part
We
of
all
it.
troll each other. That's the way it works.
Exactly.
Hey, Tony, we have a couple folks who've been chiming in. Big ups to Rocky Floyd and Thomas Spann, Jackie Graves. Mark Artist was asking us about, how many subs and speakers does it take for the setup? How long does it take to set up for the Chosen Few Picnic? I know that's a
We
big
actually
question.
start setting up at
Nico?
about 3 o'clock Friday afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not officially done until Saturday morning.
Okay. And somebody's standing out there all night watching that stuff, I imagine.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We got security is actually there from Thursday on. Okay.
Wow.
Is it just Dwayne who's doing your setup? Is Dwayne doing all the sound?
Dwayne Wood, yes, yes.
Who's done it? Has he done it over the years, or have there been others that?
He's always been involved. Well, once we
And Greg
started
used to
having
say,
a
well,
stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Back in the day, we were just throwing stuff together, putting them on 2 garbage cans. Okay. Our first sound system was on 2 garbage cans and a little coffin, as we call it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we all advocate to get Dwayne Woods on the show? He has not been on the show.
Yes, come on. You gotta get
One
Dwayne
panel
on.
I'm pretty sure Dwayne's got some stories of his setup. So I'm
Indeed,
sure.
he does.
So my 2 guys are Greg. My 2 guys have been Greg Gray and Dwayne Wood. So Greg did all my parties,
Yep.
high school sock hops, big events, small events. He did all those events. And one day I said,
Attic
I
music,
got this
shout
other one.
out.
He's like, you know what? I got a job that's paying me a lot more money. I can't do it. I said, okay, well, speak the truth, shame the
Gotta
devil.
go where the money is.
Gotta go for the money.
Yeah.
Back when we were doing our party, it was all Kurt.
Kurt
if we-
Townsend.
Yeah.
If we didn't have enough equipment to set it up or bigger parties, that we would always go to Kurt. And I'm talking, it was a crew. John Hunt, we used to call him Buster, but y'all probably know him as John Hunt. It was a crew of us that our job was set up, take down. If you DJ, you had to stay at the party until they had to tear down the other parties and come back and get you. Okay? And that was our weekend.
Are you still spinning parties? Does anyone ever ask you to bring equipment?
Hell, Lord. I actually had to take some equipment about 2 months ago.
Yeah, don't you hate
But
that?
I only took, no, I take that back. This was the latter part of last year. A couple from Chicago that live here, big house music fan. And they wanted Tony Hatchett to DJ their party. She gave him a surprise birthday party.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I actually had to take equipment.
Uh-huh.
Lord, that's the first time I moved equipment in probably 30 years.
Yeah, that's good. Every now and then it happens where
Yeah.
I forget that people have that expectation.
Exactly.
They'll be like, you DJing, okay, where's your stuff? I'm like, no, where's my stuff? Here's my stuff, where's your stuff?
So I've been going back and forth. I've been booked to do a cruise this coming December. And I'm going back and forth with the cruise director, the lady that's handling the equipment, everything. And I'm trying to get her to understand, look, I don't need computers. I don't need controllers and stuff like that. But I can use whatever they have.
Okay.
So they have I'm going to be doing the house part of the cruise, and somebody else is doing the R&B and everything else.
Okay.
So I'm asking him, well, what does he have? Finding out his equipment. Of course, controller that's already built with Serato, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't use that. The only thing I've ever used was Tractor. I do have Tractor in my computer.
Okay.
But I don't need that. I don't use that. I got a jump drive, and all my stuff is organized where I can plug in and go. I used to travel through the airports with crates of records, okay?
ATA's cases and
exactly.
Yeah.
At the airport here, Houston Hobby Airport here, the TSA girls, they knew me. They knew me because the times that I would have to go through there, I gotta pull out 6, 7, 12 records so they can swab and make sure I ain't taking explosives.
Oh,
Okay.
well, yeah.
I wouldn't check them. There's no way I'm gonna check them. That's my livelihood. Why
No,
would I
sir.
check them? So I'm carrying records too, and you that DJ again. The first year, I'm thinking, you remembered that? Yeah, nobody else coming through the airport with records. Nobody else is doing that stuff. So I don't miss those days at all.
Me neither.
No.
But I'm reminded once in a while when they're like, well, where's your equipment? And I'm like, it's in my house where it's going to stay.
Where it belongs. Okay.
Where's your equipment?
And then, I mean, one way you try to get out of the equipment thing is, well, look, there's a fee for me just coming, bringing my music and playing.
Right.
Then
Right.
there's a fee for me lugging equipment.
Yeah,
taking it
absolutely.
down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No,
I mean, I will say, look, if you need the setup, my boy Dwayne Woods is your man.
Right.
You know, here's his number.
Exactly.
You know,
Make it quick and simple. And
Yeah.
but when they hear that and think it, they have a problem with, why is it so much? No. Let me come in here. I want you to see all the work that goes in with this.
right?
Okay?
So
that's almost 3 hours.
it
Set
is,
up and
yeah.
tear down is about 3 hours.
in the college days, I got to tell you, that was one of the reasons, you know, you would get with a crew, right?
Right.
So that everyone was carrying something, and setup was a breeze because, you know,
You have to have your part. That's why Kirk has so many people working.
That's right.
That's right.
Kirk Townsend set the bar on that process, and today,
Those were the days.
yeah, the digital DJ is definitely in a more convenient circumstance.
The most they're gonna carry is a controller. You know, I know my boy Gary Wallace. Gary still travels with his controller.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
I-
and
DJ G Money, I'm sure, another friend of the house, Vintage House Show, he's probably tuned in. And shout out to Gary. But yeah, the controller has revolutionized, right, the mobile DJ experience and the club DJ experience in some instances. Can you talk about your mixer preference? Do you have one?
knobs versus crossfade.
Knobs versus a
Yeah.
CrossFade. You got it, my man.
I grew up on crossfade, but that didn't mean that I can only use crossfade.
Right?
I can use the knobs just as much. To me, that's just that's a small piece to the puzzle.
Yeah,
Okay?
absolutely.
The bigger picture is, can you keep people dancing on the dance floor?
What are you playing? That's right.
Exactly.
Can you
Knob
move
or
the
a
crowd?
crossfade is not going to help you keep people on the dance floor. I
No,
mean,
it's
it
not.
plays a part in it, but how you play, what you play, that's what's going to keep people.
Indeed, and so that, you know, we're getting into a little bit of the technicality of the mix, and your point is well taken about keeping the audience engaged, keeping them moving. You know, you mentioned one of the venues that was a favorite experience of mine, and that was the Loft. And you knew really if you were rocking the party if the floor was bouncing, and that there was, you know, no greater satisfaction.
One of the
right?
parties that stand out at the Loft, the Coteries.
The quarter.
Kenwood's girls, the Coteries, they gave,
Aisha
and Whitney
Mays
Young,
was
they
a
gave a
coterie.
party, and that party, most of the parties at the Loft, everyone knew you had to get there at a certain time,
Or
else
you
you're
can
either
get
going to be
in.
waiting or you may not get in.
Right.
Okay. This particular party, this was other than some of the battles of the DJs that we used to have there. This particular party, for whatever reason, they had more people. It started at 8 or 9, I think it was.
Mhm.
They had more people at 10 o'clock than any other party has ever had. Chicago, now you don't have to rush to get to a party. You know, it goes to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, there's no reason to rush. This particular party, by 10 o'clock, close to no later than 10:30, they couldn't let anybody else in. I saw the wildest thing I've ever seen at a party.
What?
I remember this. I know
I
what you're about
saw a group of people go across the street to the fire station,
And get a
grab the ladder
that
from the
was
fire station, put it at the back of the building and crawled up on the roof to get into the party.
I was there as well. Lori, you were there too. That was
Yeah, I remember that party.
I think it was a Halloween party, and
Yes.
I remember actually I tell this story a lot when I talked to Alan King,
Yeah.
because I know he was spending that night as well, and a guy named Rock Superman, as
Superman
he was
Rock,
known,
yeah.
he was standing up there, and when the people started coming through the window with this ladder, we were like, "What the heck?" I mean, we're not on the air, so there's no FCC regulatory issues here. But
That was the
it was a
wildest thing I've ever
WTF
seen.
moment. It was.
Yeah, and you know what was scary about it was that if you recall, hey Craig Loftus, thanks for tuning in. You remember that show? We were both there with the ladder business,
Right.
not climbing it. We were outside watching these fools, but but the floor in the loft, I don't know how sturdy it was, because you guys remember it used to kind of give a little bit.
We feared it
The
might one
owner
day.
assured us it was okay though.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
we
my
feared
goodness.
that floor might come through.
He assured us that it was okay.
There
We're
needs to be a
sitting
movie
there.
about the loft.
I literally watched speakers move from people dancing on the floor,
So
jumping.
Craig said that was Vertigo's part.
Vertigo's party.
I think well, he would know. He would
Which
remember.
party
that.
was it?
It was Vertigo's party.
Yeah.
But you guys were DJing.
It was Vertigo's
It
party.
couldn't
Yeah.
have been. That couldn't have been Halloween then. Was it
Yeah.
Halloween, Craig? Can't chime in here. Well, I
I
guess
think
you
it was Vertigo's party
You
though.
said it was our party. Because
Okay,
I
it was the
remember that.
Vertigo part. Yeah.
Because I only remember them doing it to one part. Now they may have done it to another party that I wasn't at, but I
It was-
remember being at this.
It was deeply packed.
Yeah,
It
I
was,
remember
and,
that much.
and someone started. They incited further fear. They started talking about, oh, it was a gang that
Yeah.
went
Oh,
and
my God.
got
Yeah.
the ladder. But before I forget, I also want to shout out your chosen few brother, Alan King. He just celebrated a big birthday,
yes,
Happy
he
birthday,
did.
Alan.
and he's got a
Yeah, that's
birthday
AK.
live
Yeah.
event coming up on Saturday.
It's Saturday. exactly.
Right, and so I got to do that for my man AK, because he's a good dude as well. And,
Always been a stand-up guy.
yeah.
Always been.
So happy birthday, AK.
That's right. That's right.
So as we come to the end of the show, Tony, of course
Was Halloween.
I asked. Oh, he confirmed it was
Craig is
Halloween.
confirming. Now I see the flyer. I can see the flyer. I have that flyer.
I
Girl
had
with
it.
White
a
flyer?
cat suit on. Yeah.
It was white.
It was an orange flyer.
Yeah,
Craig,
orange
right?
and
It was an
black.
orange flyer.
Yeah.
And it had like a girl with a cat suit. I remember that because I started spinning right
Man.
after that party.
Good job, Craig and Lori.
Yes. Right.
Lauren wants that flyer for the archive. You gotta get it.
I
Posted.
It's floating around somewhere, Lauren, for sure.
Craig has that party.
Yeah.
And Rock was dressed as Superman.
Yes,
That's
he
right.
was. Yes, he was. Because I was standing with he and Alan when they had brought up the lights after, they had to shut down the party. And
Right.
It's so crazy.
I remember just looking at it like, what is going on? I don't believe what's happening. And so that
You were saying you're
memory.
like Rock via Superman. I'm like, I want to go back. I just want to stop
Rock
here.
was Lemuel Ivester. Rest in
Rest in
peace.
peace.
Peace,
Right. Yeah.
We also called him Rock, and he was a staple on the scene. So he
Yeah.
was at all our parties, and he was
Wow.
just character.
Dancing all over the place, enjoying himself. Good
Everybody
spirit.
loved Rock. I
Good
love Rock
spirit,
too.
yeah.
The
Him and
Kenwooder,
Vince
I believe.
McFarlane.
Right?
We used to hang out, and Eric.
Yep.
What was Eric's last name? Eric Benson Rock were like a trio.
Eric
Yeah.
Benson.
No,
Not Eric Benson.
no,
Not-
I know. He,
Rest in
Oh.
peace too.
Eric,
Eric, he used to say
Oh, I know.
fly. He was smoking cigarettes all the time.
Jakarta's.
Oh,
He
Vince.
smoked Jakarta cigarettes. The clove
Jakarta.
Yes, my boy Eric.
Damn, Jim Carter.
Hey, you said it. I was back there. I'm often accused of being a little too nostalgic sometimes, but
Oh no.
these were such great memories.
I
Not on this
wanna
show.
know
No,
what the-
no.
I want to know what the hell was a Jakarta. It wasn't a cigarette.
It
It was
was
clove. It was cloves. It was made
Peach
of
punch,
cloves.
knock on
Really?
wood,
And tobacco.
Lori. we said it at the same time. So it was very flavorful. It was an herb, right? But it wasn't cannabis.
It smelled a lot different than anything you ever smelled.
Right, it smelled like you was smoking a ham, you know.
Yeah.
So, right now, Laura, you're right. That's what it would be considered. What they call it, hookah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wow.
Just tell us Eric's last name. Who are our guests? Absolutely know Eric's last name.
Yeah, Eric. You know, I'm so sorry. I'm blanking on. He was such a sweetheart and a good dude.
I know who you're talking about.
He's still alive. Is he still around?
Vince, Eric, Craig. What was Eric's last name? He's watching. No, he isn't. He passed away.
I thought he
tragic
did.
accident like some years ago.
Yeah.
But you know, Audrey was
Mike Benson.
Mike Benson, my boy Mike. Yeah, crazy.
Shout out to Vince McFarler. Also, he's a frequent viewer.
It's not Eric Bell, but hey, Eric Bell, not Eric Bell.
Yeah,
Come
what's
on,
up,
Craig.
Eric?
You know who we're talking about.
Oh man.
His mom used to hang out. His mom would come to the club. She would drop us off. His mom's name was Marie. Craig, you know who I'm talking about.
What is Eric's last name?
Come on.
Because we used to
We
call him
loved
by
him.
his whole name.
Yes.
We don't want to forget these people. We want to honor these people as well for their part.
They help make us who we are.
Tanya.
Yeah.
They help
Anyway,
make us who we are right now
Yeah.
today. Okay. I mean, that's the thing about what
No, not
the
Eric.
crew that's growing up now versus the way we grew up. I feel I was very fortunate to grow up in the time I did.
Absolutely.
Because what they're going through now, nowhere close to how we had.
No.
Eric Blackwell. Was it Eric Blackwell?
No.
Not Eric Blackwell?
Eric Blackwell went to Whitney Young. I remember him.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to
No.
Eric Blackwell as well. Man.
This one I thought went to Kenwood.
He did.
Yeah.
He and Rock and Vince. Yeah. I met them when I was living in Hyde Park with Eric Bradshaw. We had a department at the Del Prado when they first fixed it up.
Okay.
The Del Prado.
You know what's gonna happen, Lori? As soon as we all go our separate ways, we're gonna remember his name.
Well,
Eric,
we do.
Nico said, was it Eric Johnson? That's not his last name.
No,
Okay.
The good news
It
is
will-
we
it
do
will come
this.
to us.
We do this show every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. And normally
Yes.
we're broadcasting on WNUR 89.3 FM, but during the current era, we're appreciative of those that check us out here on Facebook Live. We'll be expanding to some other platforms as well soon. Working on that transition. DJ Lori Branch, who do you have next week?
Yes. I'm trying to bring on David. I'm going to leave it as a surprise.
Okay.
It will be next week. We got a few people lined up, but they were supposed to be live, so I'm trying to rearrange some schedules. But
All right.
I can just tell you, in general, you know, some folks we were bringing on. DJ Rocky Floyd is one of our future guests. He's been on in the past. You know, David Chavez, who really is an important figure in helping us to do all this stuff in the parks. You know, who works for the city and is also in his own right an artist and you know, a big part of the scene. So we're going to hear from David about what's happening, you know, in the Millennium Park. You know, for example, that was canceled, and the cultural center and all the things that he helps to bring life to. And really has done a lot to elevate this platform. So we'll have him on the show too. Hope maybe
You are
next week.
DJ as well.
That's right. That's right. So
Hey, I just got a text. Eric Knight.
thank you. Thank you.
Drop the mic now. We got it,
Oh.
y'all.
She just texted me.
Eric Knight. Your sister?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Tell it yes. Hard to how
I want to
Oh,
She's probably got some artifacts we need.
well, we're gonna do a family affair, the Hatchets on Vintage House.
yes.
Get
When are
everybody
we doing
on.
that?
Looking forward
We
to it.
got to do that soon. As we approach the 10:30 hour here in Central Time Zone, I got to make sure I ask you the philosophical question of the night. And it has to do a little bit with something you discussed earlier in the show around, you know, the move from analog to digital. And so philosophically, from your perspective, there is no right or wrong answer, of course, on Philosophical Grooves edition of Vintage House. But think about this, as technology has continued to emerge and take over our lives, do you feel we are happier, or has technology come to suck some of our happiness and joy away? What do you think?
I think some people make a little too much of the difference between the two. Okay. Again, I don't have a problem with a DJ just coming on board, taking advantage of the technology that's before them today. I will never knock that. Use it to your advantage. Master it. Okay. But don't forget how all of that created. That's just like on a bus forgetting how we decided to jump into this thing called DJing and house music. Okay.
Right.
I will never forget what I learned from not just Jesse, not just Wayne, not just Terry, not just Kurt, okay, Frankie, everybody who I went to hear, see, listen to, you name it, okay, they all are a part of what I am today. And I hope that I can inspire someone the same way, okay? As far as using the tools given, I don't see a problem with you taking advantage of the digital way of doing things. But if you want to master your craft, go back to the way this stuff actually started as well. Make sure you have some 1200s, okay? Make sure you take advantage of how that is, how that was. Learn stuff, because you can actually master your craft or become better at your craft in going back to those things and coming back and forth.
To that advice that you give, Tony, just from Tony Hatchett's perspective, are you a happier DJ now than you were when you started, or has there been something lost?
I don't let a situation get to that where I've lost some stuff. Okay. If you constantly like what you do and enjoy what you do and keep what you're doing to a certain platform, you should never lose anything. I kind of feel sad sometimes when I see and hear and read these stories that a lot of these DJs that are, focused on and how they present their situation.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, they losing the focus on what they should be focused on. Okay. Do your stuff. Do you. Build your craft. Build your brand. Do who you are. And the rest is just going to follow. You don't know who's going to be paying attention to you. Because the real good DJs that understand it, that have been in this thing for a long time, they see everything other DJs are doing. You may not know it, but they see it. It's a DJ in Milwaukee. He reached out to me 2 years ago at the picnic. First picnic he came to. Okay. And I follow his Sunday show. He has a Sunday show every Sunday evening.
Is that Hakeem?
Yep.
Hakeem, yep, Silver. That dude is dope as well.
I follow his show every Sunday. I see it here, I listen to his show every Sunday.
I've been trying to get him on Vintage House. We're going to extend this thing.
Humble, pays patronage to those that came before him. Wanted to pick my brain. That's all he really wanted to do at the picnic, was pick my brain.
Yep.
About stuff. How did you do this? How did you come up with this? What made this? Stuff like that. True to the game.
Yes, sir.
And you just never know who's paying attention to what you're doing. I guarantee you, people are listening. They definitely listen.
Well, we're running out of time on our conference here. That is one of the limitations of technology, right? Got a meter ticking here.
I felt like I was right there in the studio with all y'all.
Man, hugs to you, brother.
Virtual hugs.
Admire you, since all that time back in the day, and looking forward to the future. On behalf of the Vintage House crew, your main man Mega, Lauren.
Thank y'all very much for having me, and it was good seeing all of y'all. Thank you.
Thank you,
DJ
Tony.
Lori
love
Branch.
You.
Love y'all too. Thank you. Y'all stay safe out here.
Yeah, you do the same.
You as
and
well.
We'll see you guys when I come in July.
Look forward to it, Tony.
Thank you.
All right, be well, and thanks again for tonight's show.
Bye.
Where are you spinning tonight?
I think I'm spinning. So if you
All
want
right.
to flip over to my page,
Tonight?
yeah, right now.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Go,
Thank you.
Lori.
I'm all
Go,
for
Lori.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, people. Love you guys.
All right. Love y'all.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Tony.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, Lauren.